Hey guys, AC here. Welcome to another review. I was thinking of doing an incense-based list. Been thinking about it for a long time, but doing these videos take a bit of research, take a bit of time. So, what I want to do is tell you about 15 amazing incense-based fragrances. I'm not going to do a countdown, no point, because, my opinion, one could be better than the other, your opinion could be better than the one that I'm saying is brilliant. So I'll just make an effort to give you 15 great incense-based fragrances. Before we get into incense-based fragrances, I just wanted to talk about 5 notes that are together, that are used to create great incense-based fragrances. And once we have done that, you'll understand why I'm talking about these 5 notes. So number 1 note in incense-based fragrances is frankincense itself. Now, frankincense basically is a colloquial term. It comprises of 2 words, frankincense. French crusaders introduced frankincense to Europe. And frankincense, the word frankincense means incense of the highest quality because they were with the French crusaders. So actual word is olibanum, and in Arabic this is known as luban. Okay? So how does it smell like? Basically, this is frankincense essential oil, and I couldn't tell you the texture or the color, but I think it's lemony yellow in color. What it smells like off the top is like a tincture, and it has this piney smell, like a cleaning agent piney smell, along with some woods, a bit of lemony zestiness, and a bit of sweetness, which is right at the end. And the sweetness is more like honey-like sweetness. There's a certain degree of resinous sweetness, a certain degree of warmth to it. That's the smell. Now, how is it produced? It's produced out of a tree. I think it's called a sakura tree. I'll include the picture if I can find one. And what happens is they basically hurt the trunk of the tree and try and injure it. To heal the injury, the tree produces a resin which gets stuck onto and gets solidified, and that is harvested. So the finest quality of frankincense is produced in Somalia, and the more translucent it is, the better it's considered. And most of it is bought by the Roman Catholic Church. It is very, very important in Christianity. It is also important to other major religions of the world, Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam. All major religions use frankincense. Now, obviously, when I talk about frankincense, the other important ingredient is myrrh. So myrrh, I can show you what myrrh essential oil looks like, fortunately, because I love this myrrh and I use it in my oil burner. This is the consistency and color. As you can see, it's dark yellow in color, and the smell is divine. I love the smell of myrrh. I really use it because it has a profound effect on me. It's one of my absolute favorite notes, and it smells slightly sweet, floral, herbal, and it's just a divine smell. I love it so much that I use it in my oil burner when I'm trying to concentrate, when I'm trying to study, when I'm trying to do some focused work. I use myrrh. It's a fabulous smell, guys. You have to smell it to experience. I'm pretty sure you have smelt it. It's very common in Christianity as well. In fact, this was one of the gifts taken to baby Jesus. What myrrh looks like, it's produced in the same way. It's produced from a tree. I think it's cistus tree, if I can remember correctly. And injury is caused to the trunk of the tree. It produces a gum. That gum basically solidifies and it's plucked. The color of this one is basically like frankincense, but with age it increases in redness, so it becomes red, and it's again very valued commodity. In fact, Buddhists use incense sticks which are made out of myrrh and sandalwood. This is the Buddhist incense stick. It's made out of myrrh and sandalwood, as you can see from the color. It's beautiful. Yeah. The third important component in incense-based fragrances is LME. Now, LME is basically a substance which is produced from trees native in Philippines. And this particular thing is a very nice, warm, lemony, beautiful smell. It's a resin and it's honey-like consistency. It also solidifies a bit. I'll try and put up a picture. And basically it's used along with frankincense to produce a warm, lemony, just to enhance the lemony aspect of frankincense. The other important component which is used is opapanax. Opapanax is basically known as sweet myrrh. Now, sweet myrrh is again produced from trees in Somalia. It's basically produced in Somalia, and it has this rich smell. And the rich smell is basically warm, sweet, and balsamic. Sour, sweet and sour and warm. So opapanax is also used along with frankincense in a lot of fragrances. And the final one is basically an organic substitute for ambergris. It's known as labdanum. I had done a fragrance long time ago. It is called Rasasi Alvisan Evening. It uses labdanum. Now, labdanum basically has many facets. It can be musky, it can be leathery, it can be basically sweet, warm. So it depends how you want to use it. It's a very, very complex scent. And what it is it's basically a derivative of a plant called rock rose. It produces beautiful flowers, but the stems and the leaves of this plant are boiled and they extract the residue and create a resin out of it, which is dark black in color, which actually looks like what a new ambergris lump would look like. Literally dark in color. As you know, ambergris is basically a waste product produced by sperm whales. And those are the 5 components I wanted to talk about before we got into the list. So, incense. Now, I'll start the list in reverse order. What I mean by that is, the 15 fragrances that I've picked, I'll start with the fragrances that are most like an incense, which most emulate an incense-based scent, and then go backwards. Yeah, because there are other fragrances that I'd like to talk about which use incense, but that's not the main player. So let's start. So number 1 in my list is a fragrance which is considered a template for frankincense-based fragrances. Yeah, and it's called Avignon. Avignon by Comme des Garçons. This is appreciated by everybody as being the reference, the number 1 incense-based fragrance. Why? Because this actually smells like the real deal. It uses white frankincense, which is the highest quality frankincense produced in Somalia, and it has this smoky, resinous, woody smell. It uses many interesting notes like Roman chamomile. It also uses LME. As I said, frankincense used along with those 4. LME basically has this warm, lemony, zesty smell, which combined with the lemony, piney smell of frankincense give this invigorating, resinous, rich, beautiful aspect of frankincense, which is like the real deal, and this fragrance is appreciated by many. I love it. Only problem with this fragrance is Avignon doesn't last more than 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, even if you go many sprays, it doesn't give you the longevity that you would really crave. The smell is so good, guys. You really want it to last. If it lasts longer on your skin, let us know. But according to me, it doesn't last more than 4 or 5 hours. It really fizzles out fast, but it starts very beautiful. Yeah. Number two in my list is another frankincense or incense-based fragrance that is considered to be very close to the real deal, the real experience of being inside a church. Yeah. Now this one is called Cardinal by Healy. This fragrance is sort of a light, airy, incensey frag. This uses quite a few interesting notes. Number 1, it uses white linen. I don't know how they managed to create that note. It smells very crisp as the robe of a priest in a church. It uses labdanum to give it that warmth. It uses frankincense or incense and it uses myrrh along with vetiver. It's a very beautiful, light, airy incense-based fragrance which is perfect if you like a church-like environment. If you're a Roman Catholic, if you are used to your childhood memories of going into a church, Cardinal is a scent you will adore. Now this fragrance also has the same problem as Avignon. This doesn't last very long. It lasts about 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. So the next on my list is Montal's Full Incense. Now if you still like full-on incense, and you don't mind a full-on incense smelling like church, probably this is the best because it's got tremendous performance. The reason I say so is the previous two scents I said, they replicate the smell of church beautifully, but their performance seems to lack a bit. Montal's Full Incense is basically a full-bodied incense. It uses elemi, incense, and cedar. And cedar gives it that very strong woody base to it. It's a full-bodied, it's not as resinous as Avignon, but this is more woodier, more stronger, more full-on incense. And elemi is basically enhancing the lemony, piney aspect of frankincense even more. So in my opinion, this probably is the best incense if you want it to last all day. But initially when you spray it, it's pretty full-on like all Montals. It's a beautiful scent again. Next on my list. Now this one is again by Comme des Garçons, and it's called Zagorsk. Now Zagorsk, if you have heard about it, is basically the capital of Old World Orthodox Christianity. It's a very remote place in Russia, and the smell is exactly that. It's a very melancholic, very aloof, very alone kind of a scent, very snowy, cold kind of a scent. I don't know how they've managed to do it, but it has got some very interesting notes. Number 1, fir. Now the only other fragrance I've smelled which has got the note of fir is Baldessarini Eau de Cologne. It has Douglas fir. This one introduces that fresh fir, cold-like feeling, warmth, fuzzy at the same time, as if you're strolling out in the open of snow-covered plains in a forest, close to a forest, wearing a fur coat. That's the impression I get. Zagorsk is very interesting because this is not resinous, but this is airy, woody. It's got some red berries in it, or some red tinge of berries. When you smell it, you get all these impressions, all these feelings. It's a very outdoor kind of scent. This is the kind of scent you would put on and go on a morning stroll. So that's the kind of incense this is. So Comme des Garçons Zagorsk. So next on my list is another light, airy, floral incense. It's called Andita's number 5, Incense Extreme. So Incense Extreme is anything but extreme, I can tell you now. It's got the same performance issues like Avignon, but it shares few features with Desert Moroccan. I can't remember the full name. I think Air du Desert Moroccan. It's a very popular Andita fragrance. And the other one is Incense Flash by the same company, Andita. Now, what does it smell of? It smells of floral, woody incense which is airy and light. No resins here, no smokiness here, but a very interesting, woody, light incense fragrance. Guys, the next fragrance in my list is from a house that doesn't get a lot of mention. It's the house of Jovoy, and the fragrance is called La Liturgie des Heures. What it actually means or translates to loosely, and pardon my French if I got it wrong, is the liturgy of the hour. As you know, in case you didn't know, liturgy is actually the formal process of doing the church service, whatever worship they're doing. And basically this tries to emulate the actual liturgy or the smell of the church during the liturgy. So it has got smokiness, it has got woodiness, it has got the actual smell, the piney, lemony smell of frankincense, along with a lot of smokiness. This one is a full-on incense fragrance like Montal. It's very strong and it's got a little bit of mystique element to it. It's mysticism, religious mysticism. It comes across as some sort of hidden smell. You know, there's some hidden aspect to it. And once you test it, I was testing it in the summer, and by God, it was difficult because this is so strong and it comes across as so overpowering. It really was a scrubber for me. But now I've tried it again in the winter, and it smells absolutely divine. Gives you at least 8 hours of longevity, if not more. But be careful. If you're new to incense-based fragrances, this could really overpower your senses. Yeah, but that's the next fragrance that's going to be an even nicer, even artistic, even more artistic than Javois. Javois is very artistic, very different than Montal. So next in my list is a niche house called La Via del Profumo. I've reviewed one fragrance from this house. The perfumer is called Dominique D'Urbana. Now, this guy basically is considered a genius by Luca Turin, yeah? And he creates nothing less of a genius fragrance here. One of my absolute favorites. It's called Aqua Santa, or Holy Water, by Profumo.it. Yeah. Now, what has he done here? He's created a fragrance which is floral, incensey, sweet, sour, bitter, aqueous, dusty at the same time. Most creative incense-based fragrance I have in my collection, and very, very satisfying. It's one of the most amazing feeling when you wear this. It gets about 6 hours of longevity when you wear it. It puts you into a meditative state. It's very, it has a tremendous calming effect on you, and that's why I like it. Yeah, very creative. Aqua Santa. So guys, next one in my list is a lady's fragrance. It's called Liquid Cashmere by Donna Karan. So, Liquid Cashmere is basically a fruity incense with vanilla. It's a very interesting fragrance, guys. The only thing I would say about this is that this fragrance suffers from performance issues. But it's an incense fragrance that has a very different undertone to it. Vanilla and peach. Yeah, those are the two notes. So, you can imagine frankincense itself has this piney, lemony scent. You combine it with a citrusy fruit like peach, with a full-bodied peach smell, which is juicy, and then you top it up with a nice vanilla, aromatic vanilla. Very interesting fragrance, guys. One-dimensional, stays linear, but it is beautiful till the time it stays on your shirt, on your skin. Yeah, it's actually unisex, very wearable. But the only problem is the performance. I think it gives you about 3 to 4 hours. That's all you get. But it's a great scent. If you really like this scent, by the way, there is a cheaper alternative. Although Donna Karan is not very expensive, but there's yet cheaper alternative. It's called Osmanthus by Yves Rocher. It smells very much like Liquid Cashmere. There you go. So, next fragrance in the list. The next one is an artistic masterpiece. You know, one of the best artistic incense fragrances I know of. It's by L'Artisan Parfumeur. It's called Seville Blue. I'm pronouncing it correctly, I hope. The color of the juice is orange, and the feel of the juice is literally like sunset, yeah, or sunrise. The hue is orangey. It's a very beautiful fragrance. It uses sweetness, fleshiness, resinous glow of frankincense, if I'm making any sense, and it combines it with olive flower. The opening is outwardly beautiful. It's one of the most amazing openings you can hope for in an incense-based fragrance. Yeah, this one reduces its floral aspect but carries on its fruity sweetness along with smoky woodiness of frankincense. It's a very, very good scent, and the longevity is phenomenal on this one. You get at least 10 hours, if not more. Yeah, it can be overwhelming when you first spray it because it's so weird, but it's a true niche in its in the true sense of the word. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance, guys. Extremely satisfying. Seville Blue by L'artisan Parfumeur. So guys, next one in my list is a fresh, very light but beautiful, languidly beautiful incense fragrance. It's Bois d'Incense by Armani Privé, released in 2004. Now, what do I say about this one, guys? It uses black pepper for its freshness, vetiver, beautiful note of vetiver, and incense. But I don't get any incense, I don't see any incense listed in the notes breakdown. So this is the first in this list that does not have the actual note of incense in it. Yeah? Yet it smells like a peppery, fresh, very invigorating incense-based fragrance. Truly magical. There you go. Next on the list, okay, this one is amazingly magical. It's again a lady's fragrance. It's called Sahara Noir by Tom Ford. It's a discontinued fragrance, very hard to get, guys. But if you ever get it, just decant. If you ever can get your hands on it, get it, because this is one of those incense fragrances which will have you thinking, wow, am I really, guessing this wrong? Or is this just magical? It's a magical fragrance. Why? Because it uses so many amazing notes. Number one, Egyptian balsam. That gives it that floral, balmy, elemi-like scent, but with floral facets. Beautiful. It uses very warm, radiant amber and incense. Now, this is one of those incense-based fragrances that has this mystic, magical like quality. It's a very smoky, hazy kind of a scent. Yeah. Don't worry if you can't find it, because I have found it. I found a very cheap clone of it. It's called Oud Sahara by Al Anik. It smells very close to the Tom Ford. My God, this smells good. This amber is just beautiful, and it's got tremendous amounts of complexity. It's a very complex incense-based fragrance. Worth a try. If you can't find Oud Noir or Sahara Noir, I'm sorry, you should look for Oud Sahara Al Anik. Next one. This was one of the most popular fragrances of 2015. The perfumer is Alberto Morillas. I think you've guessed the fragrance. It's Aqua Profumo. Yeah? Modern. A very modern, aquatic, incense-based fragrance. Beautiful, guys. Beautiful fragrance. Tremendous performance. Before I forget, the Tom Ford performance, you'll get at least 6 to 8 hours. Yeah? With moderate to high projection. This one will give you at least 6 hours. Yeah? Back to Profumo. Oh, what can I say about that? I've done a full review. Do check it out. It's one of the most beautiful modern take on incense. So guys, top 3. Yeah. Next one on my list is the Blue Beast. None other than Amouage's Interlude Man. Now, Interlude Man is basically one of those fragrances which comes across as a candy. When you spray it, it's like a sweet candy, very zesty, lemony kind of a fragrance, but it dries out after about 1 or 2 hours and it starts to smell amazingly masculine, smoky, just a very powerful, dominating scent. It uses many notes, but the notable ones are Opopanax. That's why I covered Opopanax right at the start. It has this rich, sweet, balsamic odor. Apart from that, it uses incense, it uses leather, and it uses a very animalic, spicy oregano. Apart from, obviously, oud. Oh my God, this fragrance is just absolutely amazing. It's the most dominating scent, as I said, I've ever smelled. And smoky incense at its very best. Number two on my list is a fragrance, guys, is a fragrance that does not use the note of incense like Bois d'Incense. It actually creates the effect of incense, and it just creates such an effect that you'll be mesmerized, right? The fragrance is Teks Eau Duel. Yeah? Now, basically, this is just a duo between vanilla an incense, but there is no incense note in it, right? It uses many aspects, many notes in this, right? But what it conjures up doing is a beautiful, lovely vanilla with smoky incense. And that's what the story is. It's a fight between these two completely opposite smelling notes, trying to sort of create a beautiful story for you. Absolutely amazing, guys. One of the best incense type smells that I've got in my collection. Number 2, this is not a countdown, by the way, it's just coming back from extremely incense, totally incense focused fragrances to fragrances that are very creative, that create a lovely story for you by using different notes as well as incense. The last one is probably one of the best fragrances ever made. Yeah, it will always be in my top 10. It will always be in the top 10 of a lot of people. It's none other than Tribulation 25 by Amouage. Well, it's got tons of notes. It smells oily, fruity, woody, leathery, oody, all at the same time. But it uses one of the best notes of silver frankincense you will ever smell. It smells absolutely divine. It's known as a fragrance for kings by a king. It's not an exaggeration. It's one of the best incense fragrances, apart from being a fruity, leathery, woody incense. It's a beautiful fragrance, a must-have. If you've not tried it, not sampled it, I suggest you do. Okay, so these were the 15 fragrances, and I hope you liked it.